What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Game Day with Trey. This is your host, Trey, and we're going to give you a quick NFL update on what exactly is happening with D-Hop's free agency tour. All right, so if you've been keeping up and watching the page, all right, and the channel, you already are aware of the fact that DeAndre Hopkins was released from the Arizona Cardinals about 2 or 3 weeks ago. All right, now the purpose of the reasons that they did it are kind of fishy. Partially new regime, partially he came out and said he was not interested in playing with Kyler Murray. He wanted to play with a quarterback who was, let's just be honest, loved the game of football. And we all know Kyler Murray at this point doesn't. He likes Madden and stuff like that. So he does like football. It's just not the actual real game football, or he's not keenly interested in putting in the time that needs to be put in to be the elite quarterback that D-Hop is asking for. Nonetheless, D-Hop has came out and said he didn't want to be there. He named 5 teams or 5 quarterbacks he'd love to play with. I'll just name a few of them: Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, okay, and Aaron Rodgers. And I believe it might have been Jalen Hurts might have been on the list. I cannot remember right now who the 5th quarterback was, but it's just the regular suspects. It's quarterbacks you would expect somebody to name that they would want to play with. Okay. So here's where the dilemma starts. All right. They also asked him who he wouldn't want to play with. And the first quarterback, he said, and I say, he said this vehemently. He was adamant about the fact he did not want to play with this quarterback on this team. And the first one he named was he did not want to play with Dak Prescott. Okay. So in response, after he was released by the Arizona Cardinals, of course, one of the first teams to come out said that they were interested in him, but they did not want to bring him in. They were happy with what they got was the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, a team who could definitely use D-Hop's services to put more weapons out there for Dak Prescott. But at the end of the day, if the man doesn't want to play with Dak, you don't want to play with Dak. And it's understandable why he didn't want to play with Dak. Okay, Dak led the league in interceptions last year. And to be honest with you, he's had weapons around him since he's got in the league. He had one of the greatest offensive lines since he got in the league. I mean, the line has diminished now, but at the same time, it is what he has done in the past shows why D-Hop doesn't want to be there. All right. He did say that he wanted to play with Trevor Lawrence too in Jacksonville. Remember, D-Hop is from Florida. Okay. Well, no. Jacksonville is also another team who is named that they're not interested in his services either. Now, Jacksonville actually could use him as well. I believe it would solidify their receiver corps, give another option for Trevor Lawrence, a young budding quarterback who is attempting to make it further in the playoffs. And I honestly feel like it would have been a good idea. But, okay, now we got 2 teams off the list. So he's decided to finally start his tour. And the first team he wanted to start with, which was today, all right, on Sunday, the Tennessee Titans. Now, let's be honest about this, okay? The Tennessee Titans, they do have an okay quarterback. They got Ryan Tannehill, all right? They got a great running back with Derrick Henry, but they got 0 wide receivers, okay? Treylon Burks, who they drafted in the first round, has not shown up since they drafted him, okay? Like, he's not caught balls. He's not caught touchdowns. He was either injured or just not showing up. Okay. And in OTAs, it's the same thing. From everything that I look at, read, all reports coming out of Tennessee, you're getting nothing from Treylon Burks still. So, yeah, it would definitely help to bring in not to bring in Treylon Burks, to bring in D-Hop. Okay. But the big problem is that Vrabel only has $7.9 million in cap money. Okay, and D-Hop's looking for somewhere up towards like 9 million, somewhere around there. So that ain't happening. Okay, I mean, it could happen. He could sign for less, but he still has other options. Okay, let's keep on going down the line. So he's already also scheduled to come to New England and visit the Patriots. Well, That can be intriguing. Okay. Patriots got two quarterbacks. Now, they always said that if you got two quarterbacks, then you don't got one quarterback. But at the end of the day, man, this is Bill Belichick. Okay. So it doesn't surprise anybody that he has two quarterbacks instead of one. So you got Bailey Zappi and you got Mac Jones. All right. They did, however, bring in free agent wide receivers Juju Smith-Schuster, and they also drafted Keyshawn Butte out of LSU. All right, who at one point was looked upon as the best wide receiver that was coming out in the draft this year. He fell because of character issues and things like that that he had ran into with Brian Kelly and I guess miscommunications with his quarterback. Him being visibly frustrated during that Florida State game about not getting the ball and not staying locked in to the game really hurt his draft his draft status. But going to New England, that helps because now you're going to a system or at least you hope a system. Because remember, last year they didn't have a system with Matt Patricia at the helm as their offensive coordinator. They have, however, brought in a new offensive coordinator by the name of Bill O'Brien. Problem is, Bill O'Brien is the same coach that traded away D-Hop back in 2020 season to the Arizona Cardinals for a T-shirt and a Slim Jim. Okay, so not sure if that's going to work. Even if the Patriots do have the $14.2 million, all right, and even if Matthew Judon is tweeting on his timeline that he'll donate $500 to whatever the charity of choice is for D-Hop if D-Hop signs with the New England Patriots. All of these things are flattering, and I'm sure he would enjoy it, but I'm not sure if he's going to go play for Bill O'Brien. He is, however, open to doing the visit, and he is actually going to go on the visit, so that is encouraging signs for New England Patriot fans. I think that this wide receiver could really take New England to the next level and bring them back to the playoffs where they're used to being. Yeah, that would definitely help. But like I said, not sure if it's going to happen. Okay. Then you get to the next team that was on his list. All right. It's the Josh Allen and the Bills, man. Not happening. They just gave Leonard Floyd this money. They don't really have much more money. It's just not going to work, man. The Bills do not have the salary cap space to attempt to sign a wide receiver like D-Hop. They're not even scheduled for a visit yet right now. Okay. The next team on that list, let's look at the Miami Dolphins. Okay. Now, I don't really think they just want to pay him the money. They got $13.9 million available. They got Tyreek Hill. They got Jalen Waddle. They got Tua back there. They have an opportunity for him to be coming to Miami. But the biggest thing is that the Miami Dolphins have just came out and said they're not interested right now. I just think they don't want to pay the money. I think they want to keep the money in their pocket for someone else, whom we'll talk about on another broadcast. All right. So who is left to sign D-Hop? Okay, we've already went through the New England Patriots. We've already went through the Tennessee Titans, who he's visiting today. We've already went through Miami. We've already talked about the Bills. We talked about Dallas. We even talked about Jacksonville, who said they're not interested. But what about the Browns and Deshaun Watson? Now, for some reason, he is still not scheduled to visit with them, and I'm honestly thinking that the Browns are trying to wait until the price comes down a little bit. Even though the interest has been shown to be mutual. Remember, Deshaun Watson basically proposed to the man like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, for or on behalf of the Cleveland Browns, asking him to take a meeting and to consider coming to Cleveland. So, and that happened at the charity golf event a few weeks ago. So, like I said, pay close attention to what's going on, man, because the signing of D-Hop will be an atomic bomb on certain portions of the NFL. Okay, now if he ever decides to go to Detroit, even though Detroit has not said that they're not interested in him, they haven't said that they're fully interested in him. Like Dan Campbell has mentioned him in passing when they asked Dan Campbell, and he said yes, he would. It would be nice to add D Hop, but he wants to look at what he has in the cupboard first. Okay. Well, the Lions have like $26 million in salary cap, so it would definitely be beneficial for their team to sit down with D Hop or D Hop to consider going to the Lions, since he did name Jerry Goff as one of the quarterbacks he wanted to play with. But everything's a negotiation tactic. All right. Now we all also know that he wants to play football, but he wants to play it for a certain dollar amount. Okay. Well, there's certain places he can go, like the Jets, who have like roughly like what 24, yes, $24.79 million they got. Okay, so they could definitely afford him, but the thing is their wide receiver room would be kind of cluttered, you know. So not sure how that would work out, especially with the fact that they got Garrett Wilson there, young talent like the young boy out of the Ohio State. All right, so I don't know how that will work out, but they do have the money, and it would be interesting, and it would be keeping him from going to the New England Patriots, who, in my eyes, would be a great fit. But like I said, him and Bill O'Brien, I don't think that's going to mesh. And then when you go to Cleveland, Cleveland really doesn't have a great wide receiving core. Like right now, they got Jalen Darden, who was a practice squatter down here in Tampa, fast young man, runs a good route, good player. We just couldn't keep him. All right. But they got Jalen Darden. They got Peoples Jones, big wide receiver out of University of Michigan, been there a couple years. Runs more like Plaxico Barris a little bit, so he's good in the end zone. Big wide receiver. And then they got Amari Cooper, who is just a route technician. Okay, if they were to add D Hop to that wide receiver core, that also could help stabilize what they're doing and be, once again, an atomic bomb to the AFC. So, there's several teams where he could come in and make a huge, strong impact from day one, change in Vegas odds and all types of stuff. All right. But that's all up to D Hop, you guys. Please return, come back, pay attention, because I'm going to keep coming with live hits to let you guys know what exactly is going on in the NFL and where this D-Hop saga is truly headed. All right? Y'all have a blessed day. Stay safe, man. I'm going to holler at you. Peace.